Hello, it's me again, Chastity White Rose, and I am eating a peanut butter sandwich. That's good. But this video isn't just about a peanut butter sandwich, although I did think that is a very good tasting sandwich. I went on a walk today, and the weather's nice. It's not usually very nice because it's still winter and it's February right now. But I went on for a long walk, got my Fitbit on, and I just went for a long walk. And so I went to a CVS and got myself some vitamin waters to rehydrate myself. And I was checking out, and the cashier noticed my shirt, okay? Because I was wearing my shirt. Chastity White Rose, the vegan virgin. And what's interesting about this shirt, now this is a special shirt that I had, I had this shirt made on Zazzle because I have a Zazzle account and I had this shirt made, but I didn't think it didn't occur to me. I wasn't thinking about it that I was wearing that shirt because I wear this shirt a lot, but it was the first time I had been out on a walk where other people saw me while I was wearing my shirt. And then the cashier is like, "Are you vegan for real?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I've been an ethical vegan for a long time." And she says, "Well, my family's tried. We quit eating pork so long ago and stuff, and and so I was suggesting a few things and all that, but it was just so cool because my wonderful shirt, because just the fact that it says the vegan virgin, then the cashier asked me if I was vegan for real. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm vegan for real, And it's an interesting thing about it because it just caught me by surprise. But I wanted to talk about my shirt, actually, because this shirt means many things. See, the checkerboard is, of course, my favorite pattern. So that's why there's a checkerboard border all around here. And then my name, Chastity White Rose, there's a picture of a white rose and the vegan virgin. And that's what I call myself. I call myself Chastity White Rose. And then the vegan virgin is just sort of a subtitle that I use, you could say, because, vegan and virgin sound alike. And come on, how many other virgins are there in the world, especially that are also vegan? So yeah, I'm the vegan virgin, and that's kind of cool. So that just kind of made my day because the whole day was good so far today. Today was a good day because first I got to walk out in some sunlight, some nice weather, and then I got to have a little conversation with the cashier about veganism, all because I was wearing my shirt. And then I talked to my good friend Poffo. I've been reading Poffo's book, The Portal of Adamastos. So I talked to Poffo on the phone for a little bit. And so here's the thing is, yeah, I've read part 1 of his book. And let's see. I'm trying to figure out StreamYard. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out because I'm using StreamYard to do this live stream. I don't know if I'll have any people. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I want to hide that. Oh, so I can. Oh, cool. So if somebody leaves a comment, I can show their comment on the screen. Oh, that's nice. All right. Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't want to get distracted with that. So yeah. So my shirt is cool like that. But I was actually thinking. Oh yeah, that's right. The Portal of Adamastos. Man, I am so disorganized. So I read part 1 of The Portal of Adamastos, and it was really awesome. And so I was talking with Poffo about, my thoughts on it. He was trying to explain some things, and of course it's deep. It's a very deep book. So I finished part 1, and I'm still only like, maybe a little less than half the way through the book. It's a long book, and because I'm reading challenged and because it's some deep concepts, as part of I skip a line, I have to go back and read what I missed, but then it's also like, wait, what? I need to read that again. So it's taken me a long time to get as far in his book as I have, because I have a deal with Poffo. I read his book, he reads my book. So that's the thing about it. But, lately in this time in my life, I've been thinking about so many different things. I've been thinking about, my work injury and how I've been missing work. And on one hand, I'm looking forward to going to work, but at the same time, I'm kind of not, because it has been really good to have this vacation. Because as my knee is recovering, I've been able to get a lot of things done. I've been able to read books. I've been able to do my programming. I've been able to play Minecraft. I've been able to have live streams and have some interaction with people. So it's really kind of cool. So having this time to work on things that matter to me the most is very helpful. And I have to say, publishing my book, Chandler's Honesty, my unicorn story, recently has been really amazing. And it was just such a powerful book, and I put so much effort into it. So I'm really, really glad that I did. And I've just been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about some other things that have been going on in my mind as well. Okay, so I was playing Minecraft last night, but while I was playing Minecraft, I was listening to things, okay? I had my phone on the table, and I was listening to YouTube videos, and so one video would just play one after another, whatever's popular, whatever's new. And there happened to be videos by people criticizing a YouTuber called That Vegan Teacher. So here's the weirdest thing. So I was listening to somebody criticize That Vegan Teacher, and supposedly they said something homophobic or transphobic. I forgot what it was. I didn't listen to their whole video, because here's how I am, okay? When I hear somebody criticizing someone else. So I hear one YouTuber talking about, oh, well, this YouTuber is bad and they said this. I actually like to visit that person's channel and then listen to what they actually say. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people say that, oh, well, J.K. Rowling is bad because she said this, or That Vegan Teacher is bad because she said this, or Ben Shapiro is bad because he said this, or Abby Shapiro is bad because she said this, or you know what I mean? People do that. There will be some popular YouTuber or some other famous celebrity, and then people will criticize them. So this happens all the time. There's somebody who gains a following. They have to be somewhat semi-famous in order for people to even know who they are at all. So then these people put the title in their videos about that person, and they criticize things they say. But first of all, when this person was playing Minecraft in their video, you see them playing Minecraft in their video while they're talking about how bad that person called That Vegan Teacher is because she's forcing her dog to be vegan. Seriously, she's evil for forcing her dog to be vegan. Okay, first of all, yeah. Hey, thanks for joining me, Poffo. I see your comment there. Yeah. Yes, Poffo commented. This is going on constantly in the vegan community. In fact, Poffo and I were just talking about this over the phone. Yeah, James Aspie has become the new target. Yeah, and you know what? I want to talk about these things. I want to talk about these things because this nonsense has got to stop, okay? Because there's two, it's taken a long time for vegan activists or people who are just living vegan lifestyles to become famous enough to get that level of hate. Okay. And now I personally have not looked into what people are saying about James Aspie. I have, however, seen people say bad things about Vegan Gains. Although personally, I was a fan of Vegan Gains. I still like his stuff. He's very funny and he often has a good message. I like him. In fact, I like all kinds of vegan activists and famous vegan people. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. But anyway, as I was saying, there was this person who they were talking about how that vegan teacher is evil because she's forcing her dog to be vegan. Yeah. And I'll show you your comments here. Yeah, dogs are omnivores. They can be perfectly healthy on a nutritionally complete, supplemented plant-based kibble. Absolutely, Poffo. That is exactly what I was going to say. First of all, dogs are omnivores anyway. Dogs will eat anything you give them. So if a person is vegan and they do not want to pay for the murder of other animals, that is commonly included in dog food. Like if you look at it in dog and cat food and all that kind of thing, you're going to find the weird stuff like alligator meat and stuff like that. I kid you not. So yeah, first of all, you can easily feed a dog anything and they're going to enjoy it pretty much, unless they don't like the taste of it. So first of all, there's nothing wrong with having your dog be vegan. You can even have a vegan cat with the right food form that has the amino acids they need. That's true too. But here we had some random guy. He had like, I don't know, over 1 million views on his video, and all he's doing is playing Minecraft while he's criticizing that vegan teacher. And he's like, oh well, I have nothing against vegans. Like if you want to have a healthy diet, but but here's what I find is, first of all, it's very it's so strange. We have people criticizing vegans who themselves are not vegan. First of all, this guy's not vegan. He's like, well, hey, I ate a beef sandwich at McDonald's or whatever. I like fast food, and so I'm not going to be vegan. But so these people, first of all, like, how can they act so ignorant? Like, are they pretending that veganism is only a diet for health anyway? There might be some people who are this ignorant and they're just talking about vegans like acting like, oh, it's a diet that some people do to be healthy, but I'm not going to be vegan. So they act as if they've never even heard about the ethical reasons for going vegan. But of course, I'm not so much of a vegan activist myself. I mean, I don't go around telling everyone that they've got to be vegan. Although, of course, everyone should be vegan, because it's the only way to not be murdering animals, and murder is wrong. There's all that. But I'm just not a very convincing speaker. But I'm just a person, and for what it's worth, I want to talk about what's going on, about people who become famous and then they're criticized. They say one thing, then people run away with it. And this is true. This happens to vegans, but it happens to all kinds of famous people anywhere. Like, for example, I don't know, has anyone else heard of the J.K. Rowling controversy? Okay, here's the thing. There are a whole bunch of transgender and general LGBT people who hate J.K. Rowling or J.K. Rowling. I don't even remember how you pronounce her name. But anyway, J.K. Rowling, she's the one who wrote the Harry Potter series of books, okay? I had heard of J.K. Rowling. The only reason she's famous is because she's written books. She's probably written other books besides the Harry Potter series. But I know nothing about J.K. Rowling except that she wrote those books. And then one day, like it was probably over a year ago, I heard people criticizing J.K. Rowling. Like it was like there were posts about it. I was getting posts in my, you know, links to articles in my email, like, and I've subscribed to a lot of LGBT stuff. Don't get me wrong. I've subscribed to a lot of interesting things discussing sexual orientation and gender identity, because that's one of those things I think about. But here's the thing is people get pissed off about something that J.K. Rowling said that they interpret as transphobic. Now, I tried to look into what she said, but at the end of the day, I don't care. Because, like, let's just say, okay, let's just for a sake of example, that J.K. Rowling really hated gay people, or she really hated trans people, or what. I don't care. You know, she's a person, you know, and she can have her opinion. You know what I mean? And people, they hold celebrities up, these famous people, as if this person's famous. They said this. I disagree with this person. Therefore, this person is so evil, and I'm not going to buy her books. Like, people do this. People, and then people who have nothing better to do with their time will leave hate comments. They'll leave hate comments, whether it's some famous vegan activist, or whether it's a famous author like J.K. Rowling, or somebody else. Like, here's another example, because I don't know that many famous people. Okay, I really don't. I don't pay attention to celebrities. Okay, I end up finding about them, like my friend Poffo. He sent me to he sent me links, but to various people, like one of his Poffo's comments is, watch David Ram's channel. He's been battling this shit for months. I'm not sure who David Ram is. I'm not sure, unless he happens to be that same guy that I recently watched his 65 reasons not to go vegan debunked, or something like that. He responded. It might have been that guy, or maybe David Rams is a different guy. Because in my time, over time, I've watched a lot of videos by vegans. I've watched a lot of videos by gay and transgender people, a lot of different types of individuals. And I'll tell you something. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, okay, yeah, David Ram. Yeah, I like that guy. He's a smart guy. But, you know, yeah, I listen to LGBT people. I listen to vegans who have something to say. I even listen to Christians. Can you believe that? Like, I listen to I'll listen to conservative Christians. I'll listen to what they have to say. And once in a while, you even come across those Christian vegans, which are very interesting, I have to say, because I like to listen to what people are saying. And there's no one that I agree with 100%, but I do find that each person has their strengths and weaknesses. Some people, they have one thing that they're really good about. They're really strong on some things, but then when it comes to other things, they're not so good, you know? So, for example, somebody might be good at discussing politics, but maybe not so good when it comes to their religious beliefs and the crazy stuff they say with their religion, or maybe the other way around, you know. But everyone has their opinion. And see, I have said before that I'm a person who believes in free speech, okay? And I don't want people to be censored about things. So I want people to generally be free to say whatever they want to say. And some people, like, it's kind of tricky, because there are some people who are generally for free speech, but then somebody will say something that's, for example, somebody will say something and then they'll be accused of being racist for saying something that is not racist, and then they say it's racist. Like, it's really, really weird. Like for example, since it's been talked about before, yeah, some animal rights activists are under criticism because they use the word Holocaust to describe what's happened to the animals. And I'm like, dude, watch Earthlings, you know, watch Dominion, watch there's so many vegan documentaries that show footage of what's happening to animals in these slaughterhouses and in the factory farms where they live before they're sent to the slaughterhouse. And the way they're being treated is horrible, okay? And using the word Holocaust to describe what's happening to those animals is accurate, because those animals are suffering in a similar and even worse way than the humans were during the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. It's accurate. It's an accurate term, because when you use the word Holocaust to describe something, you're talking about massive killing, mass mistreatment of sentient beings, whether those are humans or whether those are some other form of animal. You're basically saying something really bad happened, and you have somebody who's being hurt and being killed. That's what a Holocaust is to me. So I've always understood it. I've always understood. And I'm a person, like I've said before, I'm for free speech. I don't like people being told what words they can and can't use. And listen to the content of what somebody's saying. You know what I mean? That's what I try to do. And I might not like the words somebody uses, because those words bring up negative meanings for me. For example, I don't like when people talk about things being sexy. I don't like when people talk about things being sexy. And often people will do things like, somebody will talk about something being sexy, even if it has nothing to do with sex. I just don't like that word personally. But if somebody is using that word, I try to understand, read, or listen to what it is they're actually saying, okay? And it can mean different things. Similarly, the word God has bad meanings and brings up bad memories for me. I don't like the word God. I don't like the word sexy. I also don't like the F word, fuck. I don't like that word. And Monique really doesn't like that word. But at the same time, I like to listen to what people are intending to say and not pick at them on the words they use. And what we have at a time in this world is you have people being criticized. So first of all, a word on these vegan activists or animal rights activists, people criticize them for certain words they say. And they'll accuse them of being racist or transphobic or whatever, Poffo says, Holocaust, destruction or slaughter on a mass scale. Yes. Yeah, that's probably the definition. I didn't look it up myself, but I trust you on that, Poffo. That sounds pretty accurate. But so you have these people. You have these vegan activists using the word Holocaust to describe what's being done to animals. And then you have two groups of people criticizing them and leaving hateful comments. First, you have the non-vegans. The non-vegans who are criticizing these vegans. And we have to get, the first rule is non-vegans who are every day paying for the enslavement and murder of animals do not have the right to say anything about vegans. You can agree or disagree with us, and we can't force you to go vegan. But when you are intentionally choosing to murder animals, you don't get to criticize us. Okay, you don't get to criticize vegans when you're a non-vegan yourself. But going beyond that, when you have vegans attacking other vegans, and let me be very clear about this, okay? So when vegans are criticizing the language other vegans use, some vegans will say, oh, well, you shouldn't use this word because that might offend people and then they might not go vegan. It's like, first of all, vegan activism is going to offend people, okay? It's just going to offend people. It'd be nice if people wouldn't get offended by it, but that's their problem. Because when you're a vegan activist or an animal rights activist and and that can take many forms, okay? But when you're a person and you're explaining that humans are participating in the torture and murder of these animals, people are not going to like that message. If they truly understand what you're saying, or if they actually watch the footage of what's being done to the animals, they're going to feel sad. They're not going to feel happy about it, okay? Because they don't want to feel like the truth is they're participating in it and they just didn't know it, you know? And that's the thing, is I wasn't always a vegan. I ate meat until I was about 25 years old, but I was an adult and I started learning things. And I've mentioned before, I'll mention only briefly, that I became a vegan because I was pro-life about abortion. Okay. And then someone said, "Are you vegan?" And I'm like, "Well, no, what's that?" And they said, "Well, you're full of shit." But he didn't say what a vegan was. So what I do, I get on Amazon, I look up vegan, and then I end up reading Magnus Binding's Why We Should Go Vegan. And I read about all the reasons, that the health, the environmental, and the ethical reasons why we should go vegan. And I'm like, oh, cool. Guess I'm going to be vegan now. It was that simple for me. I decided to be vegan. I didn't even have to see the graphic footage. I simply read about it, and that was bad enough for me. I ended up watching Earthlings later on, but it's crazy. But basically, to realize you've been lied to your whole life and you've been participating in murder, but it just never occurred to you because it was never presented to you in your life. And for me, let me tell you something, okay? Having grown up in Christianity, there's this weird focus on Jesus dying on the cross. And reading about Jesus being crucified, and then seeing plays where people would act out the crucifixion, and seeing movies where it literally looks like he's getting nailed to a cross and he's hanging there suffering in great pain and then dying. Like, that's horrible. That's some really sick shit to watch. Watching a movie depiction of the crucifixion of Jesus. That's pretty sad. And I'm like, wait, that's wrong. That should not happen. How could that be part of God's plan for Jesus to be crucified and die a painful death? But that's nothing. What the other animals are going through in factory farms all over the world by the billions is worse than what Jesus went through. The other animals are suffering more pain than Jesus did in the story of Jesus dying on the cross even. And yet everyone's so focused on Jesus as their savior. It's like, you know what? The vegan message is just going to be offensive. What it comes down to is that nobody should be hurt. Nobody should kill. We should all be peaceful and love each other, okay? That's the way it ought. Why can't we get along? Come on. Why can't people get along? Why can't we just be nice and follow the golden rule, which Jesus taught, by the way, and so did many other religious teachers throughout history? I mean, why can't we be nice? Why do people have to give people hate? And that takes many forms. There's violence committed. I'm gonna show this comment on the screen. Wait, okay, there was my mouse. Yeah, Jesus never existed, so we don't have to feel guilty. Well, thanks, Poffo. Although even if Jesus never existed, which I haven't researched that stuff myself, actually, it doesn't matter, because nobody should be crucified like that. Whether they're human, whether they're God, whether they're a cow, nobody should be hurt. So whether or not Jesus existed, because I know a lot of people do believe that Jesus existed and that he was crucified and then he rose from the dead and all that. I know a lot of people do believe that. Billions of people believe that. But those who do believe in Jesus should hopefully be able to relate to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They should be able to understand that somebody suffering and dying should never be part of God's plan if you believe in God. Like, what sort of plan? They make it out like that's God's plan. You know, it's messed up. Yeah. Anyway, why did my mouse stop responding? That's weird. Like, why did my mouse suddenly stop responding? That's messed up. Yeah, that's weird. My mouse stops. Let me plug it back in. Oh well, as long as you can still hear me, that's the main thing. Although maybe, yeah, it bothers me because this has happened before. Like my mouse would have stopped moving, yet other things still function. Let's see here. Oh, I can use my internal mouse pointer on my laptop, even though I can't use the mouse. That's so stupid. Well, anyway, as I was saying, nobody should be killed. Nobody should be hurt. Whether they're human or other animal, whether they're Jesus or whether they're Buddha or a Christian, or who cares? Who really cares? This should not be happening to anyone. Okay, and there are two kinds, I would say, of yeah. Poffo keeps giving me good comments. Yes, thousands of humans were crucified by the Romans, the Persians, mostly slaves and criminal. It's a horrible, horrific way to die. Yes, I second again what I said before. Nobody should be killed anyway, especially not in such a horrible way. Like if you're going to kill someone, do it in a quick way with less pain rather than a long, drawn out, very painful way. So what happened to Jesus already happened to tons of other humans even before it was done to Jesus. Whether or not Jesus existed, if he did exist, it had already been experienced by many before him. So he's not special anyway. That's the point. But anyway, yeah, this should not be happening. But there's things like that where, first of all, people who have a different opinion, a different way of living, or have a different opinion, often there are people who commit violence against those people. People have historically, for example, been killed because they believe a different religion. So there was a time in some places where if you were not Catholic, you would be killed. And there's places even now where if you are not Muslim and you're in a Muslim-dominated countries, country where Islam is the main religion, you can be killed for that. So you can be killed for not being of the mainstream religion of your country. You can be killed for being gay or transgender. And I'm sure some people have probably even been killed for being vegan. I don't know anyone personally, but I'll bet you there's somebody out there that decided, hey, I should be vegan because this, eating animals and using their products contributes to the killing animals. I don't want to kill animals anymore. And then somebody else gets all angry at this vegan, and then they murder that vegan. Well, of course they're going to do that, because non-vegans in general are people who are either ignorant and they just don't see the connections between their actions and who dies. And then there's other people who remain non-vegan because they're fine with killing. So first of all, we should not try to change our message and filter which words we use or not when discussing animal rights. We should not do that because, let's face it, people are not going to like you for being vegan. They're just not going to, for the most part, because you're someone who represents to them someone pointing out that what they're doing is wrong. Some people appreciate that, like I did, and I learned from other vegans about these various things. Some people appreciate that information. So I never hated vegans. And instead, I just learned from them. I'm like, whoa, they're right. I never knew this before. Why was there no one to teach me this before? So some people appreciate the information that vegans present, and others are like, oh man, I feel guilty now because I'm killing animals, but I just love the taste of cheeseburgers so much, so I'm going to keep killing animals, and then I'm going to try to silence the vegans because they make me feel guilty. Like there are people with that mindset. They just want to shoot the messenger. And so, yeah, I mean, come on. People, Poffo has another link for us, okay? Let's see. Check this out, vegannews.press, yeah. Regan Russell history activists. That seems like a good link that I should look at later, actually. I don't want to mess up the live stream right now, though. But anyway, yeah, so So there are people who either commit acts of violence against someone spreading an unpopular message that they don't want to hear. They either do actual violence and try to kill that person or do something else to them physically. But that in this time, we live in a different time now. This is the age of the internet, where the people don't even know where you are, for example, but they want to shut you down. They try to silence you. And so what they try to do is they try to damage someone's reputation. So sometimes they try to report them to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. People report people and they try to make up some excuses of what the person's doing wrong. And sometimes they can get those people banned from the site, which is a really evil, underhanded thing to do because those people actually did nothing wrong, you know. But then another thing they try to do is they try to damage their reputation. So that's another thing they try to do is they try to damage someone's reputation and try to make. Sometimes they'll make up lies about them. They'll make up lies about what that person said, even though they didn't, or they'll take something they did say and they'll take it out of context and spin it to mean something different than what that they actually intended. Okay, Poffo has another comment. It's a list of all the vegan/animal rights activists who've been murdered over the years because of their ethical stance against cruelty. Yes. So yeah, that's the thing. So it's as I suspected. I had never read about this before, but I just assumed that some people probably had been killed for being a vegan activist. So it turns out I was right. So I might want to look into that, just to find out who these people were, what happened. And, it's kind of funny because just last night, as I was listening to YouTube videos, just letting it play whatever was trending at the moment, I ended up hearing a documentary about the Stonewall riots. Apparently, there was a gay bar they referred to as Stonewall or whatever, something like that. And in those days, people would be arrested or killed for being gay, that sort of thing. And so it turned out into a big old thing where police officers were dragging people out that they considered to be gay or whatever, because homosexuality was a crime in those days. And according to some people, they still think it is. But I can't help but see the similarity between, in fact, here's what's interesting. I'm going to make a comparison here. I'm going to make a comparison between being vegan and being gay. They are not the same thing, mind you, just to be clarified. I'm not saying that all vegans are gay, okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that being vegan and being gay do have something in common, because you face a certain type of hatred and discrimination, not necessarily because of how you look, but because of something about the way you live. So it's similar. For example, a person could perhaps be secretly vegan where they never talk to anybody about it, but they still make vegan choices in their food and clothing. They still do that. So people can be a private vegan. Similarly, people can be a private gay person and have nobody find out that they're gay, although that's very hard to do. It actually, in both cases, is kind of hard to do, because if you're vegan, you have people, even if you don't want to talk about, people asking you, well, why aren't you eating meat? Why don't you eat cheese? Like, why aren't you eating the way as we do? And then similarly, if you're gay, people like, well, why, like, hey, you want to date this person? And then you're like, no. Well, why not? I mean, if you're in a place where it's not accepted and you could be murdered for being gay, you have to make up other excuses. Like, nobody should have to do that, okay? No, but first of all, nobody should have somebody mean to them because they're gay or because they're vegan or whatever else. You shouldn't have somebody be mean to you for any reason. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, atheist, black or white, cisgender, transgender, gay, straight, whatever. You shouldn't have people being mean to you because of whatever you happen to be, and you shouldn't be have people being mean to you for these things, whether it's something about your physical appearance or it's something about the way you live that they don't like. Like there are people, like, this is weird. There are people who have their parents and or grandparents mad at them because they don't want to have kids. Like, and they have pressure from their elder relatives, like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? I want grandkids, you know? Like, they have people pestering about it. They're like, oh, well, no, I don't want to have kids. And then they have people, well, you're selfish because you don't want to have kids. You know, like, you know, people, like, can people just mind their own business and not try to dictate to every little thing about the way people live their lives? And you know what? You really have to pick your battles, okay? You really have to pick your battles because, let's face it, there are opinions I have, and one of those opinions is that yes, in order to be a decent moral person, yes, you do have to be vegan if you're going to call yourself a good person. Okay, that I do believe that, and if me saying that is not a personal attack on anyone, that's just what I know. Okay, because you don't get to be called a good person or call yourself a good person while you are intentionally participating in something that is killing others. I think that's a no-brainer, right? But some people, they don't want to accept that. They try to find some way of saying, oh, well, I love animals, but I'm going to keep eating them anyway. You know, I don't get it. But yeah, people are just strange. But yeah, anyway, it's weird. So some people are just going to get weird. They're going to be mean to vegans no matter what. And I haven't researched into every famous vegan activist and what they've said lately, what they haven't, because I don't care. You know, when I do come across their stuff, I'll listen to what they have to say. Some of it I'll agree with, some of it I'll disagree with. You want to know who's a vegan activist I really like? Gary Yourofsky. Gary Yourofsky is awesome. You know, that dude, he's like, you know what? I hate humanity. Humans are just evil, man, you know? But, you know, I remember that one video where people accuse him of being racist. He's like, dude, I'm not racist. I just hate all of humanity. And, you know, I like Gary Yourofsky because he just tells it like it is. And I'm like, you know what? I feel the same way, Gary. I feel the same way. I can be so misanthropic sometimes. You know, it's actually very interesting though, because when I say I hate humanity, I want people to understand that's something I say when I'm angry. Okay, I don't hate somebody for being in a human body. That's speciesism. I don't hate somebody just because they're a certain hairless monkey that walks on two legs, which is all a human is. A human is a body type. Okay. Can we get this straight? A human is a species. A human is a body type. A human is just the way your body looks. Your species is just the way you were born, the way you look, the way your body is. Some of us like, for example, some of us have light skin, some of us have dark skin, some of us have blonde hair, some of us have brown hair. We're all born in bodies, and there's nothing we can do about that. And so, yes, it would be speciesist of me if I simply hated everyone who's a human. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I mean specifically, and where I agree with Gary Yourofsky, is that I hate human society. I hate what society has become. And the reason I hate it is because society has become a place that wants to silence you if you're different. They want to murder you if you're different. If you're not like them, then you're an enemy. And that's just wrong. Like, can we just stop with the cancel culture and the false accusations and weird stuff like that? And like, for example, Like, here's another thing I want to talk about. Why don't I talk about people accused of sexual assault? Since I'm on a roll here, let's talk about this, okay? So, for example, I don't know celebrities. Like, I don't even know most celebrities. Like, there's only a few celebrities I know of, and half the time they're dead. Like, you know, George Carlin or Robin Williams. Like, by the time I hear about someone, they're dead. But for example, you know, my friend and co-host Monique will you know talk about, oh well, this, you know, this actor, you know, sexually assaulted someone, or there'll be, you know, I don't know, 30 women who will accuse someone of sexually assaulting them. And here's the thing about it is there are people who people will criticize, like people will claim that some famous person raped them. That there are people who will do that. They'll claim that some famous person raped them, you know, however long ago. And here's the thing. For example, for example, this is not being political at all. Okay, I just want you to understand that whatever you think of Donald Trump or not, supposedly there were, for women around the time I think it was around the time of the first election or the second election. I don't remember. You know, there was the one where it was Trump or Hillary, and then there was the one where it was Trump versus Biden. There was two different elections involving Trump. And then why is it? Come on, answer me this. Why is it that you have people talking about accusing Trump of sexually assaulting or raping them? Why are they bringing that up during an election? And I'll tell you why. Because I wouldn't put it past people to make up false accusations against a presidential candidate just so that people would stop liking him, so that they wouldn't vote for him. So I do think there are people who, because of their political agenda, would make a false accusation of rape. I do think that there are people who would do that. But at the same time, I don't want to just believe every woman who or man who says that they were sexually assaulted by someone. But I also don't want to just say that they're all wrong. But I'm not going to get in with that. You know what? I'm not going to get into that, because this will continue to happen. This is going to continue to happen, you know, because, oh, we have another comment here. Let's see here. Alex Bez basically had his whole life turned upside down because of one woman who had consensual sex with him multiple times, turned into his advances one night, and it made her feel uncomfortable. She claimed sexual assault and basically destroyed this guy's career. So yeah, exactly what I'm talking about, Poffo. A person can make a false accusation against someone and for the purpose of hurting them and damaging their reputation. And quite honestly, a person who would make a false accusation of rape against someone, in my opinion, is just as bad as a rapist, quite honestly. Because when you damage someone's whole reputation, and they end up losing all their friends and their family, their job, whatever, because their reputation is destroyed, then you are just as bad as a rapist, if not worse in some cases. So yeah, that's just wrong. And actually, you want to know something? On that note, this is something I've thought about. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but in the past, I had this fear. That somebody would accuse me of sexual assault. That somebody might accuse me of raping them. You know what? I've had that fear in the past. And that is actually one of those interesting things, because of course it wouldn't be true. And any of my friends who know me and know that I'm not interested in things sexual to begin with know that I would never rape someone. But it would be far too easy for somebody to falsely accuse me of raping them, and then people who don't know me and yet think they can trust that person would believe them. So we got to be careful before we start accusing people of crimes. Okay, we have to have evidence. Yeah. Yeah, that my point exactly right, Poffo. Who in the hell would accuse you of that? Well, yeah, anybody in the right mind would not accuse me of raping them if they knew what was good for them, because first of all, they would have no evidence. I've never even been on a date with anybody, okay? I've never even been in a situation where somebody could try to make it look that way. But part of the reason, even before I knew that I was asexual and vowed celibacy for life, even before I understood that about myself, I didn't trust women. People know, I don't always trust men because I know the evil of men. I've been around them, but I also don't always trust all women either. Men and women both lie. Humans can sometimes lie and they'll make false accusations. And so that sort of discouraged me from the idea of even trying to date or trying to get to know people, even before I realized I wasn't interested in sex. So most people would be smart enough not to accuse me of rape, and most people would be smart enough to know it was a lie, even if it was said. So that's very unlikely for that to happen. But it was a fear I had nonetheless, and I just think that's just so wrong. And actually, you know what? I never ever in any of my videos have I, nor ever do I intend to mention who it was that molested me when I was a child. I never intend to do that. Why? First of all, because without evidence, without actual evidence, a way of proving something happened, you can't bring forth an accusation without evidence. You can't do that. You can't bring forth an accusation without evidence, okay? So that's number one reason why I wouldn't do that. Second, even though yeah. So Serenity Prayer should chime in. Chilla's talking about some interesting stuff. Oh yeah. I hope Serenity does join us. But yeah, I wanted to read your other comment. Your checkered dress rapes my eyes. I'm very sorry about that, Poffo. So, some people might like the checkered dress. I like it. It makes me feel pretty. But of course, Poffo's just joking. Poffo's joking. Of course, I hope. But anyway, the point is you don't want to make a false accusation of rape or any other wrongdoing, any other crime, unless you have an evidence that you could, look, if the whole thing was caught on video and you have a video recording, then you have a pretty good chance of convincing people that, this person raped me and they should go to jail so they don't hurt anyone else. Yeah, you can make that case if you have videotape evidence. You know what I mean? But I hate the idea that somebody would go to jail for a crime that they didn't do. And that's the thing, is the justice system is messed up. You don't even have to provide evidence of things. All you have to do is make up stories that are convincing enough, and people are dumb and they believe it. It's very sad how people do that. And you know what? I actually watched this series one time. I don't even know. I think it was probably on Netflix, but I didn't watch it on Netflix. It was called, it was called Almost Family. I actually watched this TV series on iTunes. Now, I don't want to spoil the whole plot for you, but there was a TV series called Almost Family, and it was about this guy who was a fertility doctor, and he was accused of using his own sperm to artificially inseminate his patients who were coming asking for help getting pregnant, because he was a fertility doctor. It was part of his job to help people get pregnant who wanted to be. But instead of using their husband's sperm, he was accused of using his own sperm. Okay, I don't want to spoil the whole plot of that whole series for you, but it was actually a very interesting. It was very an interesting series to watch, because it was a situation of people were making accusations, and it was, regardless of what happens, people need to have some sort of evidence for it. And in that case, they did have DNA evidence of it, because the DNA evidence could tell who the biological father was of someone or not. So in that case, it was a provable thing. But some things are not provable, okay? Some things can't be proven. So yeah, oh, we got another comment here. Agreed. Everyone should be considered innocent until proven guilty. But nowadays, social media and rumors and slander are enough to absolutely destroy you. Quite right. So that's the thing is, I think about this, you know, people can do this to any of us anytime. And in fact, I will prophesy, I shall predict that somebody's going to do something to me. Of course, they're probably not going to accuse me of rape, but people will accuse me of some wrongdoing. You know, it depends on how famous you are, because if you're a person who's not very famous and nobody knows who you are, well, then people, they don't get any pleasure from damaging your reputation, because you don't have a reputation yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's the people who are famous and that have millions of followers and listeners or readers, whatever, that people criticize, you know? And so that's the thing is, I know that there's going to come a time when maybe I will become famous, and then people will mention things that I've said, and they'll make false accusations against me. And I'm like, but what kind of false accusation could they make if they say, well, this person hates humanity? Well, yeah, I've already explained, like in this same video, what I meant at any time in the past where I've said I hate humanity. I don't hate you for being born into a human body. I just hate that society has perpetuated, you know, murder and torture and rape as part of its system. And it's just, society is weird, and it seems to just get worse and worse, because we don't have conversations anymore. Like seriously, most of us are not even having conversations. Rather than like this person saying something and then you say something to them, like actually having conversations with people. Instead, somebody records a YouTube video, and then somebody will comment on it, and then they'll do their video response, talking for, like, I've seen this. I have seen this so many times where somebody will record a 5-minute video, and then somebody else will record a 30-minute video talking about how bad everything is that person said in their 5-minute video. And I don't listen to their videos. Instead, I go to the original video they link to of what the person actually said. I want to hear what you have to say, whoever you are. I don't want to hear what somebody else said about what you said. So that's the thing is, I have been to the strangest YouTube channels, like for example, Classically Abby. Abby Shapiro is her real name, but she calls herself Classically Abby. She's interesting, but she's also got some screwed up ideas, I think. Same with her brother, Ben Shapiro. And then there's like Girl Defined. These two Christian women who say some weird stuff about, I don't know, about how women should act and weird stuff like that. And there's the Transformed Wife, which is another weird one, and who talks about how evil birth control is because women's purpose is to have babies, or some kind of weird shit like that. Like I have come across some really weird YouTube channels where people are saying some crazy stuff, but never. I've heard a lot of people say things I disagree with, but never have I actually gone and blasted the rest of the internet with how bad that person is, you know, because there's not much point to it. Although I do specifically remember that I did a video a long time ago where I talked about Blair White's video where, you know, Blair White, she's a semi-popular transgender woman, Blair White. And she had a video where she explained why she's no longer vegan. And Vegan Gains did a perfect response to her video, actually. Vegan Gains did a perfect response, and I think then Vegan Gains probably got accused of being transphobic or something like that. But bottom line is that people, I don't care. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter your skin color, your sexual orientation, gender identity. None of that matters. The point is, everyone sounds dumb when they try to defend animal abuse. Okay, when people start deciding, oh well, I'm just gonna go back to being the way I was because it's hard at social gatherings to be vegan. You know, some people are that weak. Some people are like that. Some people are like that. Like, oh, it's hard. I want to have Thanksgiving dinner with my friends and family, so I'm going to eat turkey so I can be like them. Except there are people like that. These lame excuses of why they continue to eat animals, and but you know what? That's fine. That's fine because I don't want people to continue to use the vegan label if they're not going to be vegan. So. What I do respect about her is that she, I got like dust in my throat. She did explain in her video why she's no longer vegan, and so at least she explained it. But I do believe I did do a short video where I talked about what was messed up with her reasons for why she was no longer vegan. But that's just something that no matter what you are. It's very weird because, for example, if a black person says something and then someone disagrees with them and says something, then people try to make it out like, oh, well, this person disagreed with that person's political opinion because they're black. Like, seriously, no, that's not why. It's because I actually disagree with something they said. And it's other people who try to bring, people's race and sexual orientation and gender identity into it. Like, seriously, man. You need to take a bite of my sandwich. Ugh. Yeah, I just needed to take a little break from that. Anyway, but yeah, see, other people, they try to get into this weird thing where when you disagree with somebody, then that makes you racist or transphobic or whatever else they accuse you of being, And I don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay. I know this is good that people are gonna call me racist. Now pay attention, people, because this is what I'm about to say, and people are gonna call me racist. People are gonna call me racist just because, well, at least biologically, I'm a white male. So whatever I say is automatically going to be called racist by somebody. But oh yeah, what was I gonna say? Now I forgot what I was gonna say, man. Oh, brain fart. I hate it when that happens. I had a thought and it left me. Oh yeah, basically, first of all, I was going to explain what real racism is. Okay, racism is when you don't like somebody's skin color or whatever other ethnic thing about them, and you kill someone, you go and kill someone, or you torture them and try to hurt them specifically because they're Black or Native American or Jew. When you're committing physical acts of violence against someone, that's racism, okay? That's racism, you know? And I suppose, yes, there are other things that would also qualify as racism, like if you refuse to hire someone for a job because of their race, I suppose that would also be racism. But here's the thing about it. Remember that let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, first of all, Poffo gave me a link in this comment. I'll leave this up here. Here's a playlist I put together where Gary is responding to all the accusations against him. Great videos. I think you'll appreciate them. Yeah. So that's nice. And then it's because they're already fighting for all these human causes and then they become vegan. So to them, it's all the same. SJWs and intersectionals will take on as many social justice causes that they can to impress their friends, aka virtue signaling. Yeah, it's weird. And well, actually, here's what's strange is that you'll notice that a lot of people who claim to be a social justice warrior, who claim to be fighting racism, what are they really doing? There's a term for these people, keyboard warriors, where their entire activism is all about just commenting on things online, which is not real action, mind you. However, I will say that's the most any of us can do, especially at a time like this with this pandemic, But here's the thing. When fighting for various causes, you can fight, you can have defend all kinds of human rights all you want. Of course, there's nothing wrong with fighting for equality of Black or Native Americans or gay people or transgender people. There's nothing wrong with any of that. And if people are having acts of violence committed against them, or if they are denied housing or employment because of whatever they happen to be, and there's racism and homophobia and weird stuff like that going on, then yeah, you can try to take steps to fight against that. But that doesn't mean you can't also be vegan too. I mean, duh, and being vegan actually takes a lot more investment, because when you're a person who goes, it's very strange. Like if you share something that says Black Lives Matter on Facebook, for example, then all your friends are like, oh, this person believes that Black Lives Matter because they shared a Facebook post. Therefore, it is virtue. It's like saying the right things that make them popular with people. But being vegan is not like the other types of human rights causes, okay? Because when you're vegan, you lose all your family and your friends and everyone hates you, okay? Being vegan is not easy. It's easy in terms of making changes to diet and clothing if necessary, and little things, your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, little things like that, looking at the ingredients. Does it have animal ingredients or animals tested? In your daily life, being vegan takes more investment than other things, but it's doable from that side. The hard part of being vegan is that your friends and family think you're weird and they want you to be like them. You know what? Here's an example. I know a guy who used to be an alcoholic. He grew up in a family of alcoholics. I know this guy, he was an alcoholic, and he was an Alcoholics Anonymous many years ago. I think he's been sober for like 20 or 30 years at this point, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But his family was mad when he got sober because his family was a bunch of drunks all the time, okay? And then when he got sober and he stopped drinking alcohol, he was no longer like them, and they were mad that he was no longer an alcoholic. And that's what it's like being vegan, because all of a sudden you're different because you're making a choice that's better for you, better for others, all kinds of things. And then you're criticized. You're made to feel bad by people you thought that you could trust. You're made to feel bad by them for doing something good. And if that's not some twisted stuff, I don't know what is. But being vegan is like being sober after being an alcoholic, because all of a sudden you wake up and people aren't happy that you're changed and you're no longer like that. There was a video. Let's see. Okay, yeah, wait. First of all, I want to see Poffo's comment. Yes, but in the context of vegan activism, it just becomes a distraction that then gets used by carnists and non-vegans as a fallacy of relative privation, aka appeal to other problems. Right. Yeah, the people who say that, oh, we shouldn't be talking about about being vegan because there are children starving in China or Africa, or, gay or black people are being killed here. Therefore, we should not be talking about protecting the animals. Like, wait, does nobody get that you can try to defend and save the lives of more than one group of individuals? Being vegan doesn't take away from fighting for those other human rights causes. It doesn't. So it's not even comparable. We don't have to worry about that. But I will say that if I had to choose one single issue, like if I had to choose, okay, if I had to choose, for example, between fighting violence against transgender people and violence done to those non-human animals, I would choose the animals anytime, okay? Because the animals are being hurt and killed by the billions. What's being done to humans of all minorities and differences that are being abused and beaten, killed, is not even comparable to what's being done. Or is it billions or is it trillions? I think it's trillions yearly of animals, if you count all the chickens, turkeys, sheep, pigs, cows, all sorts of other animals, like all the dogs that are murdered in other countries, horses that are killed and sold for horse meat. There are so many billions or trillions of animals that are being killed all the time, when there's no need for this, because humans, at least in most parts of the world, can live off of eating plants and not have to eat animals. And then I know there's always some idiot who brings up, well, the Eskimos, they can't eat plants because no plants grow where they live. Okay, first of all, we're on the internet here, okay? Eskimos living up there in the middle of nowhere where there's probably no civilization are not listening to us anyway. So all conversations we have through the internet or even TV or radio conversations are not being heard by those people anyway. So they're excluded anyway because they're not part of the conversations. Second of all, yes, it's true. The only thing they can eat is to eat fish or eating sea lions or walruses, whatever they have up there. So of course, yeah, they do have a diet exclusively of meat because that's the only food available to them. But we're talking to people who do have the option to be vegan. So, but anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked on that. But like I was saying, what's being done to the animals is being done in greater numbers over a longer period of time, and by comparison, what humans have been through some bad stuff. But the animals their entire lives have been nothing but torture. Okay, they're tortured for their short life. They're having to live in their own shit, and they're chained up or caged up, and they never in their whole life get to have sunshine or fresh air or run around and have fun. They never get to do anything fun. And then when they're only maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, then they're sent to a slaughterhouse because they're big enough to be sold for meat. So then they're killed. They never had any happiness in their life. So, but that, so a lot of humans actually have it easy by comparison, because let's say you're abused as a child. Let's say you're abused by a child, but then later on in life, you become an adult, you get to be independent, and you get to heal from what from some of the damage you've done, and you still go on to find some form of happiness in your life. But those other animals never get that opportunity. They never get the opportunity in life to pursue their own happiness. They never get that. So when humans whine about how bad their problems are, they don't know the half of it. The complaints of most humans is nothing compared to what animals go through. So I would choose the animals any time, you know? We got more comments. Poffo has all the good comments. That's a big one. And it turns intersexuals into apologetic vegans because all their worry and concern is about converting people to veganism. So they coddle and placate, kiss their asses, and become fixated on the methods and approach of others, vegans, for using the wrong words or being too aggressive or confrontational. This is the problem with the consumerist approach. It waters down and muddles the message, and focus is all wrong. Supply and demand, which is a failed hypothesis. Yes, and Poffo actually did write a post about that. He explained how all the animal rights activism that people are doing is actually not all that helpful. And one of the main reasons is the government subsidizes, with our tax dollars, the government actually gives subsidies to the meat and dairy industry, which without government subsidies, without the government giving money to the meat and dairy industry and all that, they probably would have gone bankrupt a long time ago. So what the government's doing is, first of all, taxing people, which is wrong in and of itself. That's a whole other topic. But then, so they're taking money from all the citizens, vegans and non-vegans, and then they're intentionally funding the meat and dairy industry, giving them money to make up for the lack of income they've been experiencing, because people are eating less meat. They're consuming less dairy products than they did before, because some people are following a vegan diet for health reasons, some for environmental reasons, and some for ethical reasons, like me and Poffo, for example. You know, so people are consuming less animal products than they did in the past. So that's a good sign. But unfortunately, because we have government subsidies and stuff like that, we're not making progress nearly as much as we could be. So you still have very rich industries that are rich because the government's giving them our money against our consent, even though what they're doing is murdering animals, which is what we're against. But like, if the government was like, stop taxing people, like, just for a moment. Just for a moment, imagine something. Imagine that something happened where all the world governments were shut down. Like, hey, here's an example: a global power outage. Like this is an interesting idea. Imagine if it was a global power outage that lasted for a year, and I mean no electricity anywhere in the world. Like, let's say the whole power grid of the entire planet was wiped out and nobody had any electricity. Well, of course, you wouldn't have phones and computers. We wouldn't have the internet. There'd be no TV. There would be no radio. Cars probably wouldn't run anymore because they use electricity, you know, and the gas stations wouldn't even function. People couldn't get their gas either. Like, imagine a time where nobody had any electricity. The whole world would change. The whole world would just completely change, because the flow of information would completely stop the way it currently is. The way the flow of information is, things just get spread all over the place. Social media, YouTube, the TV stations. Let's see here. We got another comment. Exactly. So why is all the focus on emphasis on turning people vegan when it is literally doing nothing to end the animal holocaust? So, yeah. And yeah, Poffo and I have actually talked about this sort of thing too. But I think what we agreed on is that theoretically, as enough people wake up, eventually, you know, it does. I mean, on the one hand, I sort of don't believe that veganism will ever truly become mainstream. On one hand, I don't believe it'll happen because people usually go for the worse and not the better. But at the same time, I do sort of wonder if some kind of calamity will happen. Like, seriously, like, what if some kind of thing happens? Like, whether it's the global power outage or whether it's some kind of other change that happens, like a pandemic. Like, think about this. Now, I've thought about this. So let's say that there is a really, really deadly disease. Okay, I know that people think that COVID-19 is like the ultimate deadly disease. Okay, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about COVID-19 specifically because I don't want this video to get removed off of social media because I said other valuable things. I don't want this removed. But let's suppose that a real pandemic actually did happen. Like, let's suppose there was a very, very deadly virus and it killed 100% of all people who came in contact with this virus. Like, imagine if there was a really deadly virus that basically wiped out the human race. It could happen, you know. Then we would have the Great Reset. We would have a whole reset. Everything would start all over again, all anew. Like, if the human race got wiped out, or even if the human race, you know, got wiped to where there was only 10% of the original world population, well, then massive systems, massive economies, religions, political systems would just collapse and things would have to start over. If such a thing happened, it would be possible that things might change to a more vegan lifestyle. And here's why. Because actually being vegan is very, see, first of all, people, and this is my opinion here, people are never going to go back to a hunter type of society, I don't think. You know, there was a time in the past where a lot of humans survived in most places by hunting and killing animals and eating them. But here's the thing. That's probably never going to happen again because humans have gotten weak. Like, first of all, of course, humans have guns. So humans have guns. But what if something happened and there was no guns? Like, if you take guns away, once you take guns away, you find that most humans are incapable of killing other animals because the other animals run faster than humans. Humans, for the most part, humans have weak bodies. They're not as fast as runners of other animals. It would be very hard for humans to, if we had a great reset where most of the technology and even the ability to make guns was wiped out, then humans would probably become more accidentally vegan because, you know, plants don't run away, animals do. So people would basically forage like elephants. As you know, elephants eat like 200 pounds of plants a day. I read that, you know. Okay, we got another comment here. It's all based on the critical mass theory, which will never happen because the dumbest, most regressive people are the ones who continue to breed exponentially and pass on their carnism to their children. We will never be able to convert enough people to match, let alone overtake the number of non-vegans that exist and are being born and indoctrinated every second until we address the problem of unmitigated human reproduction. The animals will never have a chance. Yep, well said. And human reproduction, like I kid you not. Now, I've already talked in this video so far about how people get mad at you when you're vegan because you're a minority and you're the one saying, hey, let's be nice, let's not kill animals. So people are mean enough to you about that. But people who, like Poffo just did, you know, bring up the problem of human reproduction. It is true. Many humans, and usually the worst of us, are the ones that are reproducing the fastest, and they're teaching their children the same dumb stuff. Like, take, for example, I know some of you know the Duggar family. You know the Duggars, like they have is it 19 or 20 kids by now? That's an example of a family that they just keep breeding, you know, where they'll keep reproducing, having biological children one after another, like every year another child, you know. There are people like that, and then it's very strange, you know. But yeah, I mean them, and then other people are reproducing like crazy. And here's the thing: is yes, humans procreating is a problem, and people really hate you when you bring that up. People really hate you when you bring that up. But for those of you who have been paying attention, you already know that I've talked about that in previous videos. And that's why I did the Celibate Vegan Voices podcast with Monique. You know, we talked about being celibate, and part of the reason is because we don't want to reproduce. And why do you think I named myself Chastity White Rose? Like, seriously. Because I vowed chastity, I vowed celibacy for life, and that is my personal form of antinatalism, because I don't want to procreate, and I've explained that before, you know. But unfortunately, it's like Poffo said, because the people who think like you have vegans who are aware. Like usually it will be vegans who are aware of what a problem uncontrolled human breeding is, because they start realizing about humanity and our effects, how we're hurting the animals and contributing to climate change and all. Like vegans tend to be aware of that. And so many ethical vegans or environmentalists choose not to breed, not to have any more children, because they don't want to bring more humans to contribute to the problem. But then other people who are not quite as intelligent and are not quite as ethical either will continue to reproduce over and over, because they have their own beliefs that are for procreation, be fruitful and multiply and weird stuff like that, you know. So there are a lot of other people. It's like Idiocracy. Has anyone seen the movie Idiocracy? Like seriously, the movie Idiocracy, I tell you, that movie is truth. It was where society became dumber and dumber over time, because it was always the stupidest people who reproduced the most, and then the other people who were highly intelligent and who were, they reproduced less because they were pursuing other things, and so then people got dumber and dumber because dumb people had more children who had taught them dumb stuff, and society just got worse and worse. So the movie Idiocracy is truth, I tell you. I believe that's kind of where we're headed. I think society has gotten worse in some ways, over time. And so I don't know, we might just be doomed, So here's the thing. Of course, I'm always willing to explain why I'm an ethical vegan and why I think it's the best way. I'm always willing to explain that. And seriously, I really wish people, it's not hard, people. If you want to know about veganism, you don't have to rely on some idiot like me to tell you about it. You can get on Google, you can get on Amazon, you can get on any website and search vegan. You're going to find videos, you're going to find books, you're going to find articles, you're going to find stuff. With the power of the internet, people can find the information. It doesn't rely on one source. And while we might just be screwed, we probably will never see a tipping point to where the whole world goes vegan. I don't think it will happen. Magnus Vining, at least one time, believed that in his book. I don't know what's going to happen. The future will tell. Who knows? But I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. So whether or not the rest of the world follows me, I'm still going to do it, because I know what I'm doing is right for the animals, and it's right for me too. Okay, got another comment here. So while we're on the subject of fantasizing, a few solar flares and EMP blasts from the sun would knock out all our electrical systems and shut down the power grid, destroy our telecommunications, and scramble and fry all of our digital records. Couple this with another COVID-like pandemic from a zoonotic disease that's more lethal, combined with a genetically modified long star tick dropped over the populations all over the world. This might actually help slow down meat, egg, and dairy. Yeah. I like to fantasize about these things too, Poffo. I like to think about what would happen, if something happened that actually caused change. But yeah, we're never going to convert people to veganism. Even if people were more willing, we're not going to be able to convert people to veganism faster than new people are being created and being taught carnism. This is true. But at the same time, we're not working one at a time either. The fact that we do have the internet, and we are able to spread messages, is amazing. And if you look on some of these famous vegan activists, there are vegans who are popular, who have millions of views on their videos, and people are trying to shut them up. But people are hearing the vegan message. People may be fighting them, they might be giving them hate, but people are hearing it more than they used to because we have the internet. So the internet has changed things, but at the same time, like if there was a really deadly pandemic, we're talking a really deadly pandemic where you get a virus and you're just dead, you don't get, before you even get a chance to call 911 and go to the hospital. Like if there was a really, really deadly virus like that, well, it would then, that virus would spread faster to the ones who consume animal products because of the filthy conditions that the animals are living in. Bacteria and viral infections are going to spread faster in factory farms and other places where animals are enslaved and where they're killed faster. So, and here's the thing is that, first of all, it's very sad that most of us don't have the ability to grow our own food. Most of us really don't. It's really hard to do when you don't even have a yard. I've never even had my own yard. But the thing is, when you eat animal products, all of the antibiotics and the vaccines that were also injected into those animals you're eating, you're getting all that stuff. You're getting all that junk, all that poison, So by being vegan, even though there may occasionally be some harm from pesticides if you're not eating organic, you're still getting less poison and still less likely to contract disease by following a vegan diet than you are eating an animal-based food diet. So there's still a difference, Yeah. Poffo has the good comments. It's all about education, exposure to the horrors and atrocities that are occurring, and then getting the right people, the most influential people, to push for the topic to be talked about and discussed everywhere on the nightly news, etc. Yeah. It's true, and if only there was a way, man, if only there was a way to get people to watch the footage, and it's so hard. Like, for example, I gave a DVD of What the Health to someone, and What the Health is not even graphic footage, okay? What the Health is not even it's not even about the ethics, it's about the health side of it, and how people are healthier. And it took me so long to get that person to even watch that DVD. I'm like, well, have you watched that yet? And they're like, no. I think they didn't watch until a year after I gave them the DVD. Like, seriously, it's so hard to get people to even watch What the Health. So it's going to be even harder to get people to watch other things. Like, did you know I loaned a DVD of Speciesism, the movie, to someone I know. I never heard anything about it, and I'm not going to ask for that DVD back. I'm not going to ask for it back even. I was just going to loan it to her, but it's like, you know what? I can buy another one if I really want to. But these days, did you know I don't even buy discs of movies myself? Like movies that I want to watch for fun, I do it in digital form now. You know, I'll buy it through iTunes or Amazon or YouTube if there's a funny movie I want to see. You know, yeah. You got another comment? The average person going vegan changes nothing. Yeah, because just an average person like me being vegan is not influential because I don't have any political power. I'm not a billionaire with the power to make huge changes, you know, and influence a lot of people. But even though being a vegan activist at this time is probably never going to cause the whole world to go vegan, and we're probably not really saving animals, still the fact, like, listen, this is a good sign, Poffo. I hope you'll agree with me. The very fact that we have these vegans that are becoming influential enough, that they're becoming popular enough, that people are giving are making up false accusations of racism or transphobia or whatever it is. Like, the very fact that the vegans are now getting popular enough that people are trying to damage their reputation, that really says something. It really says something, you know? And you know what? I long for the day when that happens to me. In fact, I welcome it, because the idea that someday people actually listen to what I say enough that then they start trying to damage my reputation, bring it on. I have no reputation to protect. I really don't. Okay. If you look back at my older videos of seeing me dancing in my dress singing "I Feel Pretty," or all the videos where I talked about my painful testicles before I had them removed, you know, like, if you go back, like, I have no reputation to protect. So there's nothing they can say about me that is going to sound like it's something new. Anyway, I had no reputation. But I am just a regular person telling you my opinions of what I think of what's going on. And I think it's a good sign that these vegans are actually becoming famous enough that people are becoming afraid of their message enough that they have to try to damage their reputation. That's weird. So veganism is becoming more popular than it used to be, obviously, you know? But yeah, I don't know if we'll ever hit the tipping point. I really don't know. Yeah. Yep. The numbers: 150 billion land animals are murdered each year, and 2.8 trillion fish, not to mention all the by-killer animals killed in other ways that are not recorded. Hunting, roadkill, dogs and cats who are abandoned and abused, animals who are sacrificed for religious rituals, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's immeasurable, all the ways in which humans are harming animals. And so, I mean, this is often like what I've said, you know, in the past, that I do wish that the human race, but Chandler, they're being canceled and attacked by other vegans. Yeah, which is really weird. It is weird because you know what I have to say about that? If you are trying to hurt other vegan activists, how can you call yourself vegan? Like, for example, I'm not a fan of PETA. Okay, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. I'm not really a big fan of PETA because some of their activism seems kind of strange to me. I don't like everything that they do, but I'm so glad for their existence because they bring veganism, the awareness that veganism is a thing to people, you know. But I don't tear down I don't tear down other vegan activists. Why would I do that? So if you're a true vegan, you want the vegan message to be heard so that people can learn what veganism is and how to be vegan, you know? So why would you want to shut someone down? And there's different people. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, like I've said before, you know, like some people might be effective, you know, by being just, you know, in your face, you know, make fun of you type. Like Vegan Gains is awesome because he just like points out how the things people say are just complete nonsense. He's just more tough. He'll just tell it like it is. Other people do play nice. Other people do sort of try to explain it in a calm, friendly, rational way. You know, about vegan topics. Like, bite-sized vegan is a good one. It's like different vegans have different approaches. They have to face constant criticism from other fellow vegans on top of all the ridicule and persecution from non-vegans and carnists, etc. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's so sad. The vegans, they have to deal with the non-vegans who are criticizing them, as well as the other so-called vegans. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And like it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. But you know what? I think that when somebody gets a lot of hate, when somebody gets people saying a lot of things about them that are either not true or they are true, but people are trying to make it sound like the person's bad, trying to damage reputation, and stuff like that. How you respond to that says a lot about who you are, Like, what do they think? Do they think Gary Yourofsky or James Aspie or Freely the Banana Girl or whoever, whoever these vegan activists are, do they think people are like, oh, the people were mean to me, so I'm not going to be vegan anymore, or I'm not going to be a vegan activist anymore, I'm just going to go away into hiding? Like, are you kidding? I doubt that. In fact, I feel like when you criticize people, you're only fueling their fire. You know what I mean? You're only fueling their fire. You're like, sometimes it only motivates people more when you criticize them. And you know what? People don't even have to respond to the comments. They don't even have to. They seriously don't even have to respond to the comments. That's what's great, is that people are leaving you dumb comments on your videos or on your social media posts or blog posts or whatever. You don't even have to reply to them. In fact, you can let other people fight with them. That's what I've noticed. Like seriously, if you go to like almost any video on YouTube, just go to the comments section. Like seriously, some person will be criticizing the person who made the video, and then somebody will be replying to them, and someone will be replying to them. And every time somebody goes back to that page to go back and reply to the latest comment, then that gets the video another view, and it gets seen more and more, and heard more and more. More people find out about it, and then they start. So, like, what happens is some vegan will tell the truth about something, or it might be somebody that is not a vegan but just is talking about another important topic, like, capitalism or communism or whatever. I don't even know. Whatever the topic may be, people, they end up sharing a video, they end up commenting on it, and big conversations start. And then the original message in that video or blog post or whatever ends up just being read and heard more. That's like how people say there is no bad publicity. It's like something becoming famous and infamous is often not too different. Like seriously. Okay, imagine, this is going to be funny. So imagine if people, let's suppose that people do videos mocking me. They might say, oh, well, you don't want to be vegan because then you'll be like this guy who is dancing in a checkerboard dress and singing silly songs. You don't want to be like that guy, There's going to be people who do that. Like, seriously? But that doesn't even make sense. I mean, like, seriously, okay, watch Game Changers. Like, seriously, watch Game Changers. It's a documentary where there's all these athletes that it's not even so, I don't even think that video mentions much about animal rights, but it just has all of these vegan athletes that are very strong and fast, and they're good at their sports and stuff. So you can be one of those people who's an athlete, and they're super strong, and there's that. And then some vegans might be like me, a soy boy. I am like the stereotypical soy boy, as it's called, because they call us a soy boy because the idea is they think, oh, well, vegans consume a lot of soy, and soy has an estrogenic effect, turning men into women. So that's what they think. So if they look at me, it almost looks like it confirms that theory. But I promise you, like my good friend Poffo, he is very much a manly man, and he's not a soy boy at all, because he's a true man. That's what Poffo is. Poffo is a true man, and I am not. I'm actually transgender to where I have a female brain in my head, but a male body, so I'm like screwed up like that. But Poffo is a true manly man. So even if someone tries to point to me and say, "Oh, you don't want to be a vegan soy boy," well, then be a very manly vegan like Poffo. That's what you do if you want to be like somebody. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And so actually, Poffo, you've actually inspired me, because I'm thinking that I might actually want to look more into what is being said about these people, because I actually want to find out what are people saying about James Aspie or other people. Like I might actually want to read the comments. I might actually want to listen to the videos and see what people are actually saying, because it's crazy, but people don't get it. They just don't get it. Anybody who is thank you, Chandler. Yes, I am a true man. Yeah, I stand by what I said. Poffo he's the manliest vegan man dude, bro, you ever did see, and as Poffo once said to me in one of our podcasts, he said, "You are the gayest non-homosexual I've ever met." Thank you very much, Poffo. I never forgot that, man. That made my day. I never forgot. That was great, But yeah, we're all different. In fact, I like that we're all different. The very fact that you have vegans of all different walks of life. There are male and female, black and white, cis and trans, gay, straight, asexual, and then allosexual as well. There's so many different types of vegans, because there's a lot of different types of people. And being a vegan has nothing to do with being black, white, cis, trans, male, female, Jewish, Gentile. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's all veganism. First of all, the Vegan Society already has the definition of veganism. In fact, I would put it up on the screen for you right now if I was able to do that very easily. But yeah, the Vegan Society's definition is something about a way of living, which seeks to as much as possible and practical avoid all forms of animal exploitation for food, clothing, or entertainment, or any other use. That I'm just paraphrasing based on how I remember it. But the Vegan Society, that is a very that is a very good definition. But we got another comment here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Poffo put a whole bunch of lists of these activists. Yeah, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a little while. Yeah, Gary Yourofsky, Joey Carbstrong, James Aspie, Ed Winters, Earthling Ed, is it also called, Paul Basher, founder of AV, Mike the Vegan, Chris Delforst, creator of Dominion, Michael Goodchild, the vegan activist, Emily Barwick, Bite Size Vegan, I know her, Will Tuttle, Jane Velez Mitchell, Natasha, and Luca, that vegan couple, Zombie Vegan, Vegan Gains, Richard Burgess, David Rams, etc. These are some of the best activists out there. Learn their names and follow them. Yes, yeah, those are some good people to know. And I was saying something. I remember I was talking about how there's all sorts of different vegans. We're all very different. And the very fact that people of different skin colors, genders, sexualities, religions even, can all be vegan, I think that in itself disproves, the soy boy stereotype, that vegans are all one way. Vegans are not all one way. Just as all black people are not all one way, all white people are not one way. It's just not that way. Okay, we're all different, but no matter who you are, no matter what your race, color, gender, religion, you still have the option to be vegan, and that's something you do in your own personal life. A person can be a vegan or a carnist, whatever they want to be, but then they also have to choose whether or not they make it public or whether they try to be private about it. So that's up to you how you want to do it. And some of us, I feel like if you are in a family and you live with relatives, sometimes it might be easier to just be, privately vegan, secretly vegan, and not talk about it, But if you're somebody who lives alone, you have your own life, and you can do what you want, then you can be public about it, But you really have to be careful because, for example, I had a friend who was getting suicidal over what people said to him on Twitter. Okay, they were accusing him of being ableist. I guess he said something was retarded or something like that, and then people accused him of being ableist or whatever, and he got all pissed off. He got in a fight with them, and it's like he was getting all frustrated with how mean people were being to him on Twitter, and then he was sending me emails. He was going to end his own life and stuff like that. It's like, dude, no, it's just stay off Twitter, man. Like, seriously. And that's what I say to people like him. Like, if you can't take the hate, do not be public on the internet. So what I want to say is most people should not follow my example. That most people should not follow my example in being as public as I am. I'm very public about my own personal life and what I think and feel. I'm very public, but I can handle the hate, okay? I can handle it. Plus I'm not famous. Nobody listens to me anyway, so the haters aren't going to come after me anytime soon. But yeah, I do hope that anybody watching this, I do hope that people do look up some of these vegan activists. Like, seriously, I'm going to put this back up here again. Some of these people that Poffo mentioned, he mentioned several people in this comment. I'm putting this back up here on the screen. Look up these people. Some of these people I know, some of them I haven't heard of, and also Poffo. Like, seriously, Poffo himself, the one who leaving this comment. You see that guy in that little picture there? That's Poffo Ortiz. He's my good friend, and he's got like that side eye thing going, he's like, he's got that eye just looking at you, man. That's cool. Yeah, and he's got the beard, man. He's like a willow tree or some kind of overgrown tree. His face. Anyway, enough about that. But yeah, I just want to. Yeah, I just want to say, I do hope that people, if you get anything out of this silly video, I just want you to, look up those vegans, those vegan activists, animal rights activists, what they have to say. And I feel like each person has an approach that we don't all have to be one. Like, one person might, in their form of activism, spreading the vegan message, they might use the word Holocaust. They might use that because they feel attacked. Another person might stay away from words that they think people are going to get offended and distracted by. So different people can do different things how they choose, but don't let anyone try to censor you or silence you and pick on you. Well, people are going to pick on you. People are going to give you hate, especially if you become famous. But don't let that hate change who you are. You just gotta keep on talking, keep on dancing. You got just keep on fighting the good fight. Don't let people change you. Okay, we got more. Chris Hines, Emma Luisia, Banana Warrior Princess. Ooh, Nick, Vegan for Life NZ. Ask Yourself, Isaac Brown, George Martin, and some others less well-known but equally solid and amazing people in their own right. If I'm not mistaken, I'm friends with George Martin on Facebook. I know I've seen that name before. And Banana Warrior Princess? Oh, that is so cool. We have a Banana Warrior Princess, and then there's also Freely the Banana Girl. She's famous. Like, I know some people don't like Freely. I forgot why they don't like Freely the Banana Girl. But I remember when I first encountered Freely the Banana Girl, I was a new vegan, and I was looking up vegans on YouTube, and I came across Freely the Banana Girl, and she had a video where like she ate like 30 bananas in one day. And you can't eat all those bananas all at once. But yeah, Freely, I guess she's still doing stuff. Yeah, and Poffo says, yep, Freely is still putting out amazing content. Yeah, I haven't kept up with what Freely has been doing recently. But yeah, I encountered her years ago, and I thought she was pretty cool, you know? And I know that she had some boyfriend, I think Durian Ryder. I'm not sure if they're still together or not. I don't keep up with these people really. But you know something, here's another thing I would like to mention. Now, I also, of course, I have, besides, you know, watching vegans occasionally, the stuff they have to say, I also have been, you know, watching videos by a lot of transgender women as well. And I mean, they're funny. Their stories are hilarious sometimes. But there was this one person who was specifically taking videos, footage from these transgender women, the things they were talking about. And then they were taking their little clips of things, and they were giving them hate. Like, there are people giving these people hate. Oh, and okay, get this. So here's okay, you know what the meat, this has nothing to do with veganism, by the way, but this is just what I want to say because it's sort of funny. But the meanest thing you can ever say to a trans woman is just to call them a man. Like, hey, you're a man. Like, what? Well, yeah, biologically I'm a man, but I just choose to identify differently. Like, it's not even a big deal. Like the kinds of insults that people are giving to the transgender women, for example, they're not even good insults. They don't even hurt feelings. And I suppose maybe they could potentially to some people, but mostly you just gotta laugh at the haters. You just gotta laugh at people doing silly things. Ooh, here's Emma's channel. Ooh, here's Emma's YouTube channel. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to look that, because these are Facebook comments. So I should be able to look up all these links that Paul was giving to me after I end this live stream. I should be able to go to the thread. I should be able to click on the links that Paul has given. But yeah, there's that. So I want to know very much about the Banana Warrior Princess. Yeah, the Banana Warrior Princess. I like the sound of that. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, this has inspired me. Yeah, I want to listen some more to some of these vegans because it's very inspiring. In fact, did you know that guy? I forgot his name now, but the guy who was doing the 65 reasons not to go vegan debunked. That was a 2-hour and like 40-minute long video. It was like almost 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken. I listened to the whole thing while playing Minecraft. Because my friend has a Minecraft realm, and he let me, you know, and I like playing on his Minecraft realm, so you know we can visit each other's builds and stuff like that. But it's a great thing listening to these vegan speakers while playing a video game, so that you can play your game and enjoy that at the same time as listening to these vegans and the things they have to say. It's greatly inspirational, and that's one of the things I do. I like playing video games or eating my food while I listen to vegan activists. That makes me feel better. Ooh, official definition of veganism. Okay. Yeah, veganism is a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose, and by extension promotes the development and use of animal-free alternatives for the benefit of animals, humans, and the environment. In dietary terms, it denotes the practice of dispensing with all products derived wholly or partly from animals. Yeah. I like that. Thanks for that, Poffo, because it's a lot easier for him to just comment and then for me to just click and put on the screen, because I'm using my built-in trackpad. My mouse just quit working. I'll have to reboot my computer or something. I don't know. But I'm going to leave that up for a while, because this is the official definition of veganism by the Vegan Society, the people who invented the word vegan. Veganism has a definition. It has a definition since, like, was it 1944, I think, something like that. Veganism actually has a definition, okay? So don't be pretending that veganism is something other than what it is. You know, I don't want us to get lost. Like seriously, I just have to say, what happened to the asexual community? Like, okay, yeah, you know what? In fact, I am going to mention this, okay? I want to mention one more thing. Yeah. The meaning of veganism is very clear. But let us not go down the same route as what happened to asexuals, okay? Asexuals are fighting among themselves, just like the vegans are fighting other vegans with the vegan movement and all that. The asexuals are fighting each other, okay? And you have some people saying that asexuality is a lack of interest in having sex. Other people are saying that, oh, it's a lack of sexual attraction, but that you still have sex with people you're not attracted to. It's like, ugh, and they're fighting over that. You know what I mean? And I happen to agree with the former definition that, you know, asexuality being a lack of interest in sex. And that's how I am. So when I use the label asexual to myself, I really mean it. Other people are like, oh, well, I'm not attracted to you, but I'm going to have sex with you anyway, which to me, that just sounds like complete bullshit. Like, that sounds like completely stupid. Okay. But that's just the thing. People are arguing over the definition. Did you know there are people arguing over what the letters in the LGBTQIA acronym means? And yeah, they keep getting more letters. You know, it's seriously, those people are weird. You know, and look, I know I'm all over the place a little bit, but I just see these same mistakes. When I see infighting on something starts out good. People trying to fight for a human rights cause or fight for the animals or whatever cause there is. And then people get fighting among each other and they start lecturing each other on what words to use or not, or what's effective, or what even the definition of what something is. You know, look, can we all stop fighting over words and definitions of things? Can't we all just make progress? And you know what? I have to say it. Humanity seems to just be doomed. It just really, humanity seems to be doomed. So maybe if we're lucky, something will happen to wipe the human race out. Maybe we'll be lucky and that day will come. It's really hard to know, but regardless of what happens, I very much do enjoy the time when I am able to have some interaction with other vegan activists, when I'm able to watch their videos and comment, or when they're able to comment on my videos like Poffo is doing right now. That is so cool, you know. So, and this is the thing about the internet. We have this way of communicating through all this technology, and that's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I don't know if there's much more that can be said, and I have been going for 2 hours already. But I do hope that somebody gets something out of this video. And Poffo left a lot of really good comments, and then I put them up on the screen, you know, because that was cool. I didn't know I could even do that before. I'm learning something every day. But yeah, so the bottom line is veganism has a definition, and we all need to really consider how effective we are or not. But we also need to not be fighting among ourselves, because the rest of the world, when vegans start fighting each other, you know, over what they say or not, and they start tearing each other down, the rest of the world is just going to see that. And they're going to like, oh, come on. You know, they're not going to listen. So don't, you know, we don't need to hurt ourselves anymore. Vegans are already hated by much of the world who continues to justify killing animals anyway. So they're already not going to listen to us, but they're really not going to listen to us if we're tearing each other down and fighting among ourselves. So I want to make a point to where I never do that to someone. I don't want to tell somebody else how they should do vegan activism, you know. And also Poffo's points are valid, you know, that we may not really be making a difference. We may not be making a difference or too little of a difference to where, you know, it's like nothing, you know. But I still believe that there is benefit. There is benefit to the individual who chooses the non-violent life, you know, to be a vegan and to not hurt the animals. There are benefits, a clean conscience and better health for yourself as well. So it does benefit us. I wish that we actually were saving animals, but I know realistically at this time we're not. So Poffo's right about that. And I hope things get better, but who knows what the future has. I believe that humanity may be doomed and we may never improve, but I also hope that I'm wrong. I hope something happens that just changes everything. It doesn't mean we're powerless. It just means we need to rethink what we're doing and take a completely different approach. That's right. We can reevaluate and we can find what is effective, what works and what doesn't. In fact, I have a little assignment for everyone. Everyone who has ever watched this video, I have a request for you. So if you are a vegan, I want you to comment how many other people have you led to veganism who became vegan because of what you said or did? Was it something you said? Was it because you showed them graphic footage? Or was it that they just saw that you were different and then they asked you and then you explained? You know, what was it? You know? And to tell you the truth, most of us may not have made as much difference as we would like, but I will say that, you know, I think in some ways it makes small differences. So before I end this live stream, I want to mention a few things. Because of what I have learned, because I've been vegan since 2013, I've read books, I've watched videos, I learned about things. I learned about all the industries, what they did to animals. I learned about what products I don't want to buy. I learned all kinds of amazing things. My mother has gone vegan as a result of my influence, because, you know, up until September of 2019, I lived with my mom, and my mom was around me all the time, and I still visit my mom on weekends. And so my mom has learned about veganism originally because of me. She's also checked out books from the library and stuff. She's read a lot, but it was because I turned vegan that my mom looked into it, and then she became vegan. And, you know, we've had some interesting talks about that. And also, my sister temporarily went vegan. My sister's a whole other story. I'm not going to talk about her. That's too traumatic. But anyway, and then also there is one other person. Well, actually more than one other person. You know those podcasts that I used to do? I used to do the Free Will, Science, and Religion podcast, and I know of 2 or 3 different people who were not vegan before we started doing podcasts, but because we did talk about veganism occasionally in those podcasts, we talked about those things, people started transitioning to being vegan. They learned about the ethical problems. And one of those people, I'm not going to say his name, but one of those people, he's like, oh, well, yeah, you know, the way we treat animals isn't right, but it's not going to make much of a difference if I go vegan or not. So his thinking was like, well, yeah, it's not going to make much of a difference. Why bother going vegan if it's not going to make much of a difference, you know? But first of all, maybe we're wrong. Maybe in some way we are making a difference, even though we may not see it immediately. So we may be making a difference and just not seeing all the evidence of it yet. But also, do we do something just because it achieves the desired result, or because it's the right thing to do? That's right. That's right. Yeah, Poffo, you know who it is. Plus it's not all that secret. Yeah, but he tends to be somewhat private about things. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah, but that's the thing but there were people who did end up going, appeal to futility. Like, why bother? It doesn't make much of a difference, you know? But you know what? It may make more of a difference than you think, and I know that, look, I figured out many years ago that me being vegan is not going to stop billions of animals or trillions even from being killed or bred into existence in the first place. I mean, can we talk for just a second about the fact that these animals are not just killed, they're intentionally bred, by the industries for the purpose of killing and being sold. It's for profit. They breed as many as they can and they kill them. Yes, he is still vegan. Yes, he is still vegan. And he has even received hate for his veganism, and people fought with him, and I told him, you know what, you got to take a break. Don't let the haters get to you, and don't kill yourself over it. Like, seriously. I've seriously, he's had a lot of hate directed at him, but he not only became vegan, he started trying to be an activist himself. He started trying to explain veganism to other people. And he got really depressed that people were not willing to be vegan and that they just defended the murder of animals. So in a way, he's a lot like me. Like, the way that he feels is very much like me. And I've known him like, what? 4 or 5 years. I'm not even sure at this point by now, but he's still vegan. You know how some people, like, they'll go vegan for a while and then they'll backslide? Some people, like, they go vegan, but then the social pressure is just too great. And, and they can't handle the hate. So then they just go back to being the way they were for acceptance. Another common case of these so-called ex-vegans are people who only did it for health reasons. They started being vegan to be healthier, but then they didn't really feel much of a difference in their health. So then they just went back to their old way, and honestly, actually, listen, what I'm about to say is, I don't want people like that going vegan. We don't need any more ex-vegans. Okay. It's like, veganism is like a marriage. It's till death do us part. Okay. Truly being vegan is not, it's not, I might be vegan for a few weeks and see how it goes. No, veganism is when you make a vow to yourself, a vow to the animals, that you're going to choose the way of ahimsa, the way of nonviolence, and try to not do anything to intentionally cause harm to others. That's what veganism is, and we don't need people who are not all in. So don't go vegan unless you're willing to stick with it because it's the right thing. We're vegan because it's the right thing to do. But as far as animal liberation, just getting people to go vegan is wrong-headed at this point. We need to push for legislation and mainstream exposure to the documentaries. Yep. Let's do it all. I say let's do it all, Poffo. Let's just do it. Let's show them the footage. Let's pass laws, and let's explain veganism to people. Let's do it all. We don't need to all be doing the same method, but my hope is that with a variety of methods, each person doing what has proven to be most effective. And I've converted just a few people to veganism. Even though I'm not even clever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. Like, some people are like Gary Yourofsky. They just say the right thing at the right time, and in every stupid carnist excuse there is, they just instantly know. Oh, so we have sovereign Hey, Sovereign. Who's Sovereign? Oh yeah, Sovereign was the one. Oh yeah, the live stream I comment. Yeah, I keep getting, because I know who you are, Sovereign. Oh hey, I finally caught live. Yeah, I'm very glad you caught my live stream. I've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes and you finally joined. Cool. Yeah, I was just talking about how we could try all the different methods of vegan activism, and some things work. That was beautiful, Chandler Clibbs. Well said. What was I saying? I completely forgot what I was saying, but I'm glad you thought it was beautiful. But yeah, I mean, yeah, let's do it all. We'll try every method. But like I was also saying, is some people will be James Aspie or Vegan Gains or Gary Yourofsky or some banana princess or whatever, like some people are the people who are clever with words. They know the right thing to say. So somebody will come up with some carnage excuse of why we should continue to exploit animals. And those people, they just know the right thing to say immediately. I'm not one of those people. I'm not the greatest, okay? But I am someone who, even though I mess up my words sometimes, yeah, banana princess, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but even though I'm a person who gets my words mixed up and I can't articulate in real time all that well, not really, although I'm doing pretty good at this live stream, and it's like people will ask me questions about, okay, this I gotta say. One time, I had this guy at work ask me why I don't eat eggs. And instead of telling him all of the detailed, complicated reasons about why I don't eat eggs, I was working. I was distracted, okay? I didn't have the time to get into the details of the meat, dairy, and egg industries and how, I know the details of the egg industry. I know about how the male chicks are ground up after they're born. I know that the hens were bred to overlay their eggs and they're sent to slaughter as soon as they stop laying. I know all the details of it. So what I told the guy is, those eggs come from chicken vaginas, and I don't like vaginas. That's what I told him. It's true. It wasn't the most articulate, well thought out response to his question. But hey, you ask a silly question, you get a silly answer. So that's what I said, So, thanks, Poffo. I saw your comment here. You've influenced more people than you realize, Chandler. You've talked about veganism in every video production you've ever done. You know what, Poffo? You're right. It is true. In almost every video, I have mentioned veganism, because it's an important part of my life. So veganism is one of those things that I talk about because I'm always thinking about it. Sometimes I'm talking about veganism. Sometimes I'm talking about computer programming languages. Sometimes I'm talking My Little Pony. Sometimes I'll be talking about who knows what, like my books that I published. And did you know that I'm pretty sure every one of my books that I published has mentioned ethical veganism? Like every book I've ever published, even my art books, I mentioned being vegan. And did you know that in my first art book I published, I explained about why a horse was on the cover, and I mentioned that I like horses because horses are vegan. Horses eat only plants and they're non-violent, and so I mentioned that. And then there was the other book that I had the bunny on it, and it said cruelty-free, because cruelty-free is what they put on the labels of some products to let you know that they didn't test on animals, And so veganism has been a main part of all my videos I've ever recorded, as well as all my books I've ever published. It wasn't actually mentioned in my first book I published, Confessions of a Confused Virgin, until I then republished it, adding the 9th chapter. But for the most part, I've mentioned it a lot. I have hundreds of videos, hundreds of blog posts. I have several books I've published. And veganism also, I do want to mention, veganism also is mentioned in my recent book, Chandler's Honesty, where I talk to Honesty the Unicorn. It's actually talked about in several different places in various different parts. In fact, Honesty and I talked about people who go vegan for health reasons compared to the ethical reasons. You know, it was very interesting. Let's see. Sovereign K. Lazarus. True. We don't know how many people we've actually taken vegan. Our influences are much bigger than we think. Yeah, you just never know. You really don't know. And part of the reason we don't see the evidence is because, you know, you write a book, for example. Let's say you write a book, and you don't know everyone who reads your book. Your book that you write may change lives. You may have a video. Your video may change lives. It may improve you. People listen to you, and they change. You simply don't have evidence, because unless they actually comment, unless they email you, unless they tell you, you don't really know. You know, as an example. Oh yeah, let's see. Keep reading the portal. I dedicated almost 4 chapters to veganism. Yeah, want to mention that. I've been reading the portal of Adamastos, and one of these days I will finish that. I've read the first part, so I'm at like page 140 something now. I need to start the second part next. But yeah, like a fine example I'm talking about is I have only had maybe 2 or 3 people at most who have even mentioned reading my book. However, I was checking the stats of people who read my book. I have many books, but my most recent book I'm talking about on Amazon, and apparently, like there was 11 people that had downloaded my Kindle version of my book or whatever. So I probably will never even hear from these people. A lot of people that read your books, read your blog posts, or listen to your videos, if they don't comment, you don't even know who they are. You don't know how your book has impacted them. So we may not see much evidence. However, I do want to mention this. The fact that we now are seeing more things, you know, certified vegan by the Vegan Society, the fact that we are seeing an increase in vegan products, that is a sign that these things are becoming a little bit more popular. And there are people who buy those products who like those things. We've had some good stuff like well, my mom and I call it veganese. I guess the correct term is veganese. It's like mayonnaise, but it's not. It's like all plant-based thing that tastes sort of like mayonnaise, so you can use that as a replacement, you know. So that's the cool thing. But we're seeing more vegan products, but of course the produce section was already vegan. But seeing that vegan word and that on labels, and the fact that we have vegan pizzas now sold in stores, and Sarpino's, the pizza place, has a whole vegan menu. They use the Daiya cheese, and then you could choose your toppings and all that. You know, it's good. Okay, we have another comment. I literally had someone from high school randomly find me on Facebook 15 years later just to tell me that I had influenced him to go vegan 10 years prior. And this person, I never would have guessed he would do that. Wow. You don't always hear about that. That is such an inspiring story. You don't know how what you do now may affect someone in the future. You may or may not never find out about it. It's true, because how many books have I read? How many videos have I listened to and that have inspired me and encouraged me and given me ideas? But I never even left a comment. You know, I just listened to things. And I actually do try to comment on things more often to let people know I like this stuff. You know, I try to do that because I feel like people need to know that our work is making a difference. So yeah, You know, write reviews on the good books you read, and, you know, comment on people's YouTube videos, you know, whoever they are, to let them know what a benefit it is, what they're doing. People need that encouragement sometimes. It's good to hear that encouragement, you know? So yeah, I mean, wow, you know, we ought to just keep doing what we're doing. Now, I have been going for almost 2.5 hours on this live stream. So I need to use the restroom, but I want to ask you guys, do you guys think I should continue, or do you think I should end the live stream? What do you guys think? Poffo and Sovereign, what do you guys think? You can leave your comments while I go use the restroom. All right, let's see here. Sovereign says, I'm just hanging out. Do what feels good. And then Poffo left us another comment. Watch this video series when you have time. It will show you all the progress veganism and animal rights has made in the last 2 years, going all the way back to 2015. Cool, man. Thanks for all the links, Poffo. Like, seriously. Yeah. Let's see. I always share it with people who are suffering from depression and dystopia because I think it's extremely encouraging. Awesome. Yeah, dude. Thanks for all the wonderful links, Poffo. It's going to take me a long time just to look at all the links you've linked just in the time I've been doing this live stream. But I do believe I will probably have to end this live stream because it's getting to be almost 2.5 hours. And I've been going on, so I need to finish my peanut butter sandwich. I started my sandwich, but then I got talking. So, made my Bombay's vegan fried rice with crispy tofu tonight. Good. What did you make? I just had a peanut butter sandwich. You know, peanut butter is like the easiest vegan food there. You know, peanut butter sandwiches. You know, peanut butter and bread. You know. It's not too hard to do. I like peanut butter sandwiches. But there was also that time I made pancakes. But anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he had a PB&J. Actually, not PB&J, just peanut butter, no jelly. I don't like jelly because it's sweet and jiggly. Ugh. I don't like jelly. Ooh, Papa says, I just ate a tofu curry with chickpeas over rice. Awesome. Man, there is so much good vegan food. I seriously want to have more. I want to have more videos where I'm eating food. Actually, I want to have more videos like that video I drank a whole soy milk in like 3 minutes. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I need to end this live stream. Like, you guys are leaving such fun comments, but I need to end this broadcast. Thanks for your comments, and I hope we can do this again sometime. It's been fun, guys. Thanks for joining me.